Welcome back everyone to Bernie Man's Gaming Vault, where we dive into the games that shaped our childhoods, and sometimes our frustrations. Today, we're reviewing Tetris for the original Nintendo Game Boy, a game so iconic that it helped define handheld gaming as we know it. This little grey brick of a console paired with Tetris in 1989, and the result, well, pure addictive magic. But how well does Tetris still hold up today? Is it still worth playing, or is it just a relic of the past? So stick around, because we're breaking down everything from the gameplay and design to the legacy and impact, before slapping a final review score on it at the end. Now let's get started. Tetris wasn't just any game, it was a phenomenon. Originally created by a Soviet programmer named Alexei Pajitnov in 1984, it made its way through the gaming industry before Nintendo secured it for the Game Boy launch in 1989, and man did that move pay off. The game became a pack-in title for the Game Boy, instantly skyrocketing the handheld to success. Tetris wasn't about flashy graphics or deep storytelling, it was about simple, addictive gameplay that anyone could pick up and enjoy. It was so popular that it crossed boundaries. Businessmen played it on their morning commutes, kids were glued to their screens on road trips, and even astronauts played Tetris in space. It's no exaggeration to say that Tetris helped make the Game Boy a global success. Alright, let's get into what makes Tetris tick. The concept is simple. Fallen blocks must be arranged to create full lines, which then disappear, giving you points and more room to work with. But simplicity doesn't mean easy. As you progress, the blocks fall faster, requiring quicker thinking, faster reflexes, and an almost zen-like state of concentration. There are 7 different block shapes, each with their own strengths and weaknesses. You can rotate them, shift them left or right, and drop them into place. But once they're down, they're down. If you let the stack reach the top of the screen, game over. One of the most interesting things about Tetris is its difficulty curve. The game starts off slow and almost relaxing, but as you advance, the tension ramps up. By the time you hit level 9 or 10, you're in full panic mode, desperately trying to clear lines before the screen fills up. It's pure gameplay, and that's why Tetris remains one of the most addictive games ever made. Now let's talk about the Tetris soundtrack, or more accurately, the one track that everyone remembers. Now, without butchering the name, I believe it's Korabennika, aka the Tetris theme. This Russian folk tune became the sound of puzzle gaming, and it's a banger. The Game Boy's simple sound chip gives it that classic 8-bit feel, but it never gets old. In fact, it gets better the more you play it. But what's cool is that Tetris also offers a couple of other tracks. Type B is a bit more intense, while Type C is calm and classical. And if you're feeling hardcore, you can even turn off the music completely and just focus on the gameplay. As for the sound effects, they're minimal but effective. The snap of a piece locking into place and the satisfying blip of a line disappearing. It's all perfectly tuned to keep you in the zone. So obviously, Tetris on the Game Boy isn't winning any beauty contests. It's blocky and it's basic. But guess what? That's all it needs to be. The Game Boy's greenish screen may seem primitive now, but back then, it was perfect. The limited visuals kept distractions to a minimum, making sure you were completely locked in on all the gameplay. And despite the simplicity, the blocks are crisp, clear, and easy to read, even in the middle of a fast-paced round. And let's be honest, part of Tetris' charm is that old school, no-frills look. One of the coolest but most underrated aspects of Tetris on the Game Boy, the multiplayer mode. If you had a link cable and a second Game Boy, you could battle with a friend in head-to-head Tetris. Every time you cleared multiple lines, you'd send garbage blocks over to your opponent, messing up their stack. It was one of the earliest examples of competitive puzzle gaming, and it was amazing. This was esports before esports even existed. I used to play this regularly against my mum. We both had a Game Boy each, linked with the cable, and we'd absolutely battle it out, and she absolutely hammered me. She was very good at Tetris, and my screen would be constantly getting blocks dumped on it left, right and centre. I got better as I got older, and the games became more 50-50, and I did start winning some, but wow, she was good. Tetris isn't just a great game, it's one of the most important games ever made. It proved that you don't need flashy graphics or deep stories to create something timeless. It set the foundation for puzzle games, handheld gaming, and even casual gaming as a whole. Even today, Tetris is everywhere, from mobile apps to modern consoles. The formula hasn't changed because it doesn't need to, and that's the sign of a truly legendary game. If I had to give Tetris a Burning Man's Game and Vault rating, it'd have to be 9.5 out of 10. Tetris on the Game Boy is an absolute masterpiece. And the only reason I don't give it a 10 is because I'm a firm believer that nothing is perfect, but this is as close to as you can get. And if you're a fan of retro gaming, it's a must play. So what do you guys think? Does Tetris still hold up for you? Do you have good memories of Tetris? Does it unlock anything from back in the day in your mind? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like, please subscribe and hit that bell for more retro reviews. I do have a Discord link along with my other socials in the description below, so please feel free to come by and say hi. And until the next time, look after yourselves.